Hey guys, Captain Figurine back with another video. Today we take a look at the US Premium Squad, the Nostalgia Squad for the Invasion of Normandy campaign. This squad has 4 4-star assaulters. They come equipped with an M3 with a field modification, a large backpack, a knife, an explosion pack and 3 medikits. As usual, they have their perks selected. So you have 35% climbing of any objects, 12% firearm reload, 100% health regeneration out of combat, 20% weapon aim speed and plus 100% stamina. And of course you can use retrainings point if you don't like any of these perks. So as always, we will take a closer look at the weapon first and I will give you some background. So first of all, the weapon was designed by George Hyde. You might know this name because we already have the M2 Hyde. So yes, he designed the M2 and he designed the M3 as well. They started production of these in 1943. It was kind of mid-war, late war when they started using these weapons, and pretty soon they started producing the M3A1s in 1944 because they had a lot of problems with these weapons. So let's take a closer look at it. And first of all guys, it's a huge mess on the M3s. Like, there's a lot of details just wrong. So we will take a closer look at it so you understand it as well. So first, if we take a look, this is the M3 with the field modification. And you might see a small little hole there. Now if we go over to the M3 submachine gun, when we turn it over, you can see the handle there. This handle was on the first produced M3 machine guns, and with this handle you can move the bolt back. Pretty simple. But they had a lot of problem with these because they started breaking during the training on the field and so on. So instead of replacing them, as you can see here on this one, they just cut in and place this metal handle over there to charge the bolt. Now on this machine gun we can see, if we take a closer look at the stock, we don't have a loading tool at the stock because the first produced M3 machine guns, they didn't have the loading tool. So it was a little bit of a pain to load up these double stacked single feed magazines without a loading tool. So this stock is right, but if we go over now to the M3 and turn this one over, you can see we have a loading tool there at the stock. So that's kind of wrong. So this is actually a M3A1 stock. Next, this is the M3 machine gun. You can see a small little metal piece at the bottom of the grip, right? This was the oil tube. But on the M3 machine gun, the oil tube was here and it's missing right now. So I don't know. I really don't know. Then next is this weapon has a M3A1 rear sight. So like it's almost the same. It's not looking the same, but on the M3, the first they produced, it was just a small little very thin metal piece. Because if we jump over now, it's so much jumping guys, but I have to show you this. It was this rear sight here. So this is actually the real gun. Like you can see we have the oil tube here, the hole, there is no loading tool. There is also no metal piece down here for the oil because it's here. So I don't really understand what went wrong with these weapons. Like, I just don't know it. Maybe the designer used the M3A1 to design the M3 or something like that. So I'm not sure if they will ever fix this stuff or if they just don't care. But as you can see, we have some problems here with these weapons. It's not super accurate, the model they did. Just let's say that. Oh, and by the way, for the handling on the M3A1, you can see there the hole in the front of the bolt is a little bit bigger. So this is how you did charge it. You just put your finger in that and pull it back. So very simple, but I think there's probably some problems because you could get easily some dirt in and so on. Next we can see the dust cover. I mean, the dust cover is looking good. This was the weapon safety as well because you can see this small little metal piece there, and if you close the dust cover, this goes into that hole in that bolt and kind of disables it. It's not the best system we've seen on submachine guns to make them safe, but it's kind of working. And I mean, they use these guns like super late. They used them like till the 90s, so those guns saw a lot of use. So I think that's enough for the weapon details. Alright, now let's check out the stats of our M3 with the field modification. We have 8.2 hit power, have 265 meters per second for the muzzle velocity, have a rate of fire between 640 and 470 shots per minute. So the fire rate on the M3 isn't super high, so it's an easy trigger control, but we will check that out in a game. We have a reload time of 2.2 seconds, a vertical recoil of 13 and a horizontal recoil of 13. We have a 30 round magazine, have a weight of 4 kilograms and a cartridge mass of 21 grams. We can just auto fire it, but as I said, the trigger control on this one is quite easy. We have the 11.40mm caliber and we have quite a heavy damage drop off on range and of course no real armor penetration. Now let's check out the weapon in game. Important to know, the main weapon used by the troops were the M3 machine gun because they had 614,000 produced of the M3 and just 15,000 of the M3A1. So if you buy the cheap premium squad for 875 enlisted coins, at least you get the real grease gun, or the best in-game model we have. It is a fun weapon to use, and as you saw in the clips before, it is very easy to control single shots and double shots with the low rate of fire. I personally really like the looks of the grease gun because I like these sheet metal weapons, and with the dust cover and everything, this weapon just looks kinda cool. In game, I don't think it's a very easy submachine gun to pick up. You have to learn the recoil of it. It's not super easy to fire with it on high range, so you need to get used to the weapon a little bit. Of course, as all the submachine guns, it really shines on close range. It's not as good as something like the PPD to shred down like 14 peoples in a few seconds, but still, it does its job on close ranges. And I think the main difference between the different M3s we have right now is the rear sight. So you should mainly check out the rear sights of the different M3s, so the M3, the modified M3 and the M3A1. You can see the one from the modified here in game, so it's a little of personal preference. This one is fully upgraded when you get it, the other ones you have to upgrade with spare weapons, but it's not a big deal and you can do that over time. So overall, I hope this guide was useful to you. Now you know if you want to buy it or not. If you don't want to miss any further enlisted news, want to have more information about all the weapons and more backgrounds about the World War II stuff we have, stay tuned. And as always, guys, have a good one. Captain Figurine out.